guys, so you guys really liked it when I did a trying vegan snacks video, so I thought I would do one where I try vegan recipes, because let's be real, I am one of the most lazy people. Love cooking, but I make like the same 5 things. Like I only really know how to make like 5 things, and they're very, very basic and simple. So I wanted to find a couple recipes where I could be like, whip something up that's a little bit fancier and not the same thing I eat every day. You get me. Anyway, I think these recipes that I found are pretty simple. They're a little bit more complicated, but not to the point where lazy people will be too turned away from them. Also, this video is sponsored by Thrive Market, which I want to thank them so much for partnering with me for this video. Thrive Market is basically an online marketplace where you can buy groceries, and all of their items are priced at wholesale value instead of like the market price value that you'd find at like Whole Foods. So they have really amazing specialty foods like vegan, non-GMO, organic foods, and they cut out the middleman and charge the members $60 a year, and you get all these savings, all these amazing brands for a discounted price. It's really easy to navigate. You can filter through like 90 different specifications depending on your diet needs. And for everyone who joins Thrive Market, they donate a membership to a veteran, teacher, or low-income family. So that is just unbelievable to me. And of course, this wouldn't be a sponsored video without a little hookup for you guys. You guys can get 30-day free trial, so you can buy as much as you want in that 30 days. 20% off your first order and free shipping. For my US viewers. Is that not amazing? That's a really good hookup, guys. All right, enough rambling. Let's just go ahead and jump into the recipes. This first one, I'm gonna say, was the hardest one that I made because it's the most like baking. I don't bake. I don't do that. I like cooking because you can just throw it all together, and you'll see that I did that. If you look at the original recipes, I go completely off the page with the lunch and dinner recipes, but for the breakfast, it's so much, not so much like baking. It's a lot like baking, so I kind of messed it up a little bit. It wasn't perfect, but it tasted bomb, so that's all that matters. And for all the recipes that I'm making in this video, I'll leave the original ones down below, but I ended up making completely different ones from the actual, I mean, they're like inspired by the recipes in the description. You can follow it to a T or not, do it what I did. I don't know, you do you. The first recipe is vegan French toast, which that sounds bomb, right? Without the guilt. I mean, there's still a little bit of guilt, like it's not healthy. The recipe called for almond milk. I used coconut milk. Mine was a little bit thick, so I ended up mixing in a little bit of water as well. You're going to need about a tablespoon of flour. You also need nutritional yeast. I used about a teaspoon, I believe. You need a tablespoon of maple syrup and some more for the topping, and some cinnamon, and of course you can add fruit or powdered sugar, whatever suits your fancy. So for the batter, you're going to take a bowl and mix together the coconut milk, the flour, the nutritional yeast, cinnamon, and the maple syrup, the tablespoon of maple syrup. You're gonna whisk all that together, and then you're going to take a kind of a bowl, dish, whatever you can use to cover your ciabatta bread. I use just the ciabatta bread that I also used in the lunch recipe. I would recommend not using this kind of bread that has like a butt to it, you know what I'm saying? Like use actual slices of bread, guys, because this one, it was a little weird. It didn't really brown on the other side, but you'll see what I'm talking about. It ended up being good, but you know, it's just, you sliced bread. So you're gonna soak the ciabatta bread in the batter mixture. You don't have to like soak it overnight or anything, just like for a minute or two, just make sure it absorbs it. Oh, and quick note, it's very, very important to use day-old ciabatta bread. Let it sit out overnight to get hard. I thought it was gonna be too hard, to be honest. But then once it absorbed everything, it ended up being like perfect in the end. Then you're gonna heat up some oil, let the pan get hot. So you can use coconut oil. All I had was vegetable oil, but it doesn't, use whatever you have. Cook a few minutes on each side, flip them over, do the thing, cook them up, you know what I'm saying? Add your toppings. I added, of course, some more maple syrup. You can always add vegan butter as well. I wanted to add some powdered sugar. I added a lot of powdered sugar, guys, because I love powdered sugar. And then I only had peaches on hand, but it ended up being really good too. But you can use berries, strawberries, or no fruit, whatever you want to do. That's what I love about all 3 of these recipes that I made, is that they're so customizable. Like literally every ingredient besides like what's necessary is customizable. The vegetables that I use in the next recipes, anything, you could just do whatever. And then that's it. Then you eat your French toast and it's delicious. So I've seen some recipes going around of like vegan tuna, like you can make your own tuna using chickpeas or garbanzo beans. So I decided to try and improv that a little bit with this other recipe that I found. It uses white beans, but I got garbanzo beans, so I decided to try to make fake tuna. It didn't taste like tuna, but it still tasted delicious. So this is a vegan tuna sandwich kind of tuna, not really. So you're building a sandwich. You're gonna need the regular sandwich supplies, you know, whatever you want to use. For toppings, I decided to go with thinly sliced red onion, which that's my newfound like favorite thing to put on everything. And then I also put radish on top. You could do pickles, you could do like some relish in there. You could pretty much put whatever you want in there. You could put some mustard in it too. I did that today for lunch and it was so good, guys. Some vegan mayonnaise, of course, salt and pepper, the seasoning, and the most important part to make it tuna is the seaweed. And these are seaweed snacks that I got at Thrive for pretty cheap, and it comes with a bunch. And this crumbled up in chickpeas, just in general, is really good. And that's it. You mash up the beans together with all the other ingredients, and then you build your sandwich. You put down the chickpea mixture first, and then just add whatever toppings. I added spinach as well. Just anything you have on hand. You could add sprouts or, you know, anything that you like on your sandwich. Lastly, this is probably the one I was most excited to make because I love top ramen, okay? So much sodium, so gross for you. I don't eat it all the time because it is so bad. One of my favorite things to do though is to make my own fancy ramen. So for the last recipe for dinner, we're gonna make some fancy vegan ramen. Again, for this you can use any kind of vegetables that you want, whatever's in season, whatever you have in your fridge already. The recipe calls for thin rice noodles that you might find in the Asian section of your store, but I got these brown rice noodles on Thrive Market. Ended up being so delicious, guys. I recommend these noodles highly. You're gonna need some veggie broth. This is about 2 cups, I believe I used, and then you're going to need about 2/3, 1/3, I think I used 1/3 cup of soy sauce. I use low sodium though. You're also gonna need like a teaspoon or a tablespoon, depending on your taste, of like a chili sauce or a hot pepper sauce, and then the veggies, whatever you want to throw in there. I also used a lot of seasoning though, I should tell you. I used onion powder, pepper, garlic powder, chili powder, and ground ginger, which I hate ginger, but it ended up being really good. So first you're gonna start your veggies. You're just gonna heat the oil in the pan and add the veggies that will take the longest to cook first, and let that simmer for a little bit so they can get a little bit softer, more tender before you add the broth. Then you're gonna add the mushrooms or whatever your other veggies are that maybe don't take as long to cook, and then you're going to add the soy sauce, the veggie broth, and let that simmer. Oh, and chili sauce as well, you're gonna add that in. And you can cook that as long as you feel like you need to, until the vegetables are to the tenderness of your liking. And then while that's cooking, you can start your pasta noodles or your rice noodles, whatever you're using for the base of this ramen. Just cook it like you would whatever the package says, just cook it. Then you're going to assemble the ramen, so you're gonna put down a layer of noodles first and then just pour some soup on top. I like less broth, although in this clip it looks like I like a lot of broth. Normally I would drain out most of my broth, but I really liked it with this recipe because the noodles weren't actually cooked in the broth. You can do that though, by the way. And honestly, this made so much. I even did have the recipe again, and it still made so much that I was still eating it for like 5 days. And that's it. I'd say mission accomplished, man. I found some new, like every single one was good, and I didn't think I would like every single one. I thought I would be like, oh, this is okay, it's good enough for a video, I guess. But no, I love all of these. I've been eating them, and I feel like I'm capable enough to make them, like not on an everyday basis, but you know, like on a weekly basis, just something I have, you know, in my little toolkit now for cooking, because I'm a lazy cooker and make the same 5 things. So now I have some new things to eat. Please let me know if you make any of these recipes, or tag me in some pictures on Twitter or Instagram. I'd love to see how you recreate them, how you customize them, because they're all very laid back recipes. You could just do whatever you want with them. But I hope you enjoyed this. Make sure to check out Thrive Market in the description. I'll have a link at the top of the description for you. Take advantage of that offer, guys, because it's really good. You can get as much as you want in that 30 days. Like, just go for it. But I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of different video from me, a recipes video. Let me know if you want more of these too, because I could definitely do that. And I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.